I don't.
Pardon me.
Okay. Yeah, a little sidetracked.
You want another pen, Rich?
Yeah,
Well, I think I'm all
we
right.
weren't expecting a 15-minute discussion.
It's tough. Doesn't
That's
look,
okay.
For the resident.
Because your pen is right there, on the other side of your books.
You need a pen?
I got it.
Okay.
Did I get them all?
1 minute.
4 signatures you should be doing.
I lost count. I lost count.
We'll start numbering. How's that?
I did that one. I did this one.
No.
Have you done any?
I don't know.
Have I? No.
You want me to ask Karen now?
Do you
I
know if
wish
she's
I asked
still
Ed, but I believe so.
in her own language? She just got on the board.
Well, would it be the old members?
Or is it the old
I'm
one?
not even get old members that aren't hearing.
Right? I know.
She's an elected member of the planning board. I'm
The new
So now it's going through, so she's on the board, she would sign
I
it.
think
Is that
so.
right? That's what
I
I
don't think
think.
anybody's gonna argue.
Well,
That makes more
if I
sense
wasn't here
And
for
try to
it,
track down Jim Lowry.
I've been wondering the same thing.
I probably shouldn't if I wasn't here for it.
You don't have to, we had enough sitting.
Yeah, we have a quorum.
You got
so
it, good, okay, yeah. Keep it moving.
keep this all-
Yeah, because if you do that, the person who left the board doesn't have the authority.
Right, that's true.
Like, where'd the other half of this one go?
6 o'clock.
Do you have another paper there?
The, yeah.
All right, 6 o'clock, Town of Brookfield Planning Board, April 13th, meeting called to order. Roll call. I'm Ed Ingles, I'm here. Stephen Berry. Here. Donna Fossett.
Here.
Lee Gage.
Here,
Marshall Goldberg's traveling, he's been excused. Mark Lofgren, you're on the phone, right?
Here, yep.
Okay, and Rich Zacher.
Here.
Great. So if I forget, if we do have any votes, we have to do a roll call when somebody's on the phone. Fortunately, we have a quorum tonight, so that's good. No alternates. Any correspondence, mail, anything we need to deal with?
just the invoice.
Just the invoice, so that's coming up.
Yep.
There was, no, the other thing in there is not relevant. Okay, we are now going to approve invoices as a regular part of the business of the meeting. This is kind of stacked up on us. We've got government oversight, a bill from government oversight that is doing our minutes for us now, and it's $30 per meeting. So we have 4 meetings from December 8, January 12, February 9, and March 16. Probably should approve those Feb 9 and March 16 minutes before we pay the bill for it. Does that make sense?
You're the chair.
So why don't we do that? Let's talk about the minutes. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to, Leah sent these around February 9th and March 16th. Any comments or questions on the minutes?
I had, the first set I didn't have any comments, the second set I had a couple of comments.
On the March 16th?
Yeah,
Okay?
yep. There's discussion about the gravel pit begins at the bottom of page 1.
Yep.
I had a comment on the last sentence on that page. Well, let's see. Well, I had a couple comments on that last paragraph on page 1.
Okay, where it says lines 4 to 6, that part?
Yeah, that was the road agent, Chris Kinville, reported the state inspector, an ordinance was fully completed and sent to excavating forms. And then it says for the 2 grandfathered gravel pits. I'd rather say for the town's 2 existing gravel pits.
Rather than say grandfathered?
Yeah, I don't think we really know if they're grandfathered. I wasn't convinced that they are.
Okay, and we don't really have any proof either way, right? Is that your point?
Yeah, exactly, yes. I don't mean to say we should say they're not grandfathered, I'm not sure we should say they are grandfathered.
You could say to be determined if they're grandfathered.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna do that though, honestly.
I
Okay.
don't think we can do that. Whatever paperwork we had apparently is,
Okay, go on. Okay.
reason, the next sentence I would change a little bit. Lines 4 through 6, I would just add of the forms
Okay,
had previously been left incomplete because the town has never maintained a formal local 155E permitting process, so no changes to all that. And then it's where it says despite having the regs on file, I'm inclined to strike that. So after it says formal local 155E permitting process, I would then add the following. And it was presumed, and I can go back slower for this if you agree with it, and it was presumed that both pits were eligible for grandfather treatment, though the planning board was not aware of the pits having filed the report required to evidence grandfather status.
Lee, did you get all that? A little bit slower, Mark, please.
Yeah, okay.
She doesn't have to get
And,
it, he's saying.
You'll get it there.
Well, he has to say it.
yes, then I can follow up with an email if you want, but so I would add, instead of the despite to the end of the sentence, I would say, and it was presumed that.
Yep,
Both pits were eligible for grandfather treatment.
yep,
Though the planning board was not aware change this a little bit. So the planning board was not aware of whether the pits had filed the required report for grandfathered status or treatment.
That's almost contradictory.
Almost, or it is?
It is.
Okay, what do you have that's contradictory?
Well, earlier we're basically stating that we don't know that they're grandfathered, and then we're presuming they're grandfathered. I don't know if we...
Yeah, I mean, we could say something like, while they were established before the grandfathering date, we don't know whether they ever filed the required report.
Or prior to this planning board.
well, there's that.
We've yet to determine.
Yeah, as of this time, we had no record of the report that had been required.
This is
Something like that.
This is accurate. They only have to report the amount of material they excavated every year. That's what they're required to do, is give us a report of excavation.
But the form that they file that goes to the state needs to have a permit number on it, or the state will not accept it. That's the problem that we had, that Chris brought to our attention.
But we create the event number. I mean, it's up to the town to assign a number. So that's what we do, we assign a number. It's not a state-generated number. It's a local.
But we need to have a permit. They have to apply for
We
the
don't have a permit
Also,
yet.
I'm suggesting that Mark was saying, over the past years, we don't have the documentation that
Right.
establishes that they are grandfathered. I don't know any such documentation. All I know is that they're required to file a report of excavation. Did they? I assume they did. Do we have them going back to 79?
No.
No. So the report that you're alluding to that makes them grandfathered, I don't think exists. That's my point.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I just wrote, we could say that in a lot of different ways, but that's what I was trying to get at, Rich, that we don't know if they filed that report. Without that report, I don't think there's any basis to say they're grandfathered, other than we think maybe they were, but we just don't have the evidence of it.
Isn't it?
And so, therefore, we have to get a permit, which is the road we're taking now, which is to have them get a permit. If they were grandfathered, They wouldn't have to go through the permit process.
I believe they would. Every year they have to go through the permitting process.
Well, I mean, through the town.
Town/state. That's required, that they fill out a permit for the town, they give us $100, they give the state $100, we mail it to the state, and they get an excavation permit. They're supposed to do that annually since that RSA became effective. In '79, I don't believe we had an RSA like that. So there's no permit that says I'm grandfathered good forever.
What if we just,
Okay.
Mark, what if we make this simpler and say, where it says town has never maintained a formal local 155E permitting process, and there is no existing documentation.
Period.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Yep.
And it should be incumbent upon the person who's operating the pit to have evidence of how long they've been doing this.
That's correct. So what are we gonna do
If they don't,
yeah.
we're gonna slap them.
We're not gonna You're right.
We're creating our own problem.
That's right.
Yep. Don's in charge of gravel pits. I love that.
I dropped off all the paperwork on gravel pit, so there you go. I'm done with it.
I have a process statement. The minutes that that are taken right from your words of that minute, those are the meeting minutes for that meeting. If you want to expound on this, it's happening in this meeting. This is where all that will be brought up. The minutes will be brought up, but all the changes and this whole discussion should be in these minutes.
Makes
We
sense.
shouldn't be going back to minutes and changing the intent.
So
Because
that's,
clearly in court, they will see that you talked about it this way, you thought they were grandfathered, then you came to the next meeting and questioned if it was or not. So there's a stream there. You shouldn't go back and just completely change the
no,
whole.
I was actually going to go there.
Okay, thank you.
If you roll the tape, was the word grandfathered in it?
Absolutely.
Probably,
That's
right?
been
Because then I
used-
would pick it up that way.
That's been used, oh, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way it was done by the AI was exactly your intent. Because in Brookfield, we say grandfather all the time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree completely with that. We certainly talked about grandfathering a lot.
Yeah.
And by the time we came out, I think we concluded, gee, we don't have, and I have to go back and listen to it, but I think we concluded we don't have evidence of grandfathering. And they either need to check the box that the grandfathering report exists, or the permit box. And since we couldn't get to the grandfather box, I think we decided, well, we can certainly put them through a permit process, and that's, I think, where we ended up. Is that not what people remember?
I agree.
So I think it's not so much, well, I don't think we're really changing the intent. I'm just trying, and maybe Ed, your suggestion is better, just get a little less detailed on that point, because I think it's a little, to me, it's a little misleading with where we ended up
Okay.
as written.
Mr. Chairman, can you just send those corrections, if you agree, just send those corrections via email, because they're kind of convoluted right now.
I think it's okay if we change the word grandfather to existing. It's
Yeah, that's not.
it's
Yeah,
less,
it was everything else you just said, it was kind of,
yeah. Well,
I would rather see it in this meeting's minutes.
I think
It's a
existing
detail.
makes more sense.
yeah.
Because you're not deeming it grandfather.
What if we just change grandfather to existing and just put a period after permitting process?
I like it. Simple.
And then we'll deal with
And then put everything
Yeah.
you said here in.
in the minutes for this meeting. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
That works for me, yep.
Okay. So we have to do a roll call vote. I guess we can do both at once since we're.
Wasn't here for one.
Yeah, you can't do, which one?
Why are we voting?
March 16th.
To approve the minutes. Just to approve these minutes.
Because he's on the phone.
Well, I understand that. Are we changing them? We're going
The-
to approve the changes?
Yes, but the motion is to change the word grandfather to existing and strike despite having 1991 regulations on file from the minutes.
And will you be able to approve the minutes that I also wasn't at, though? Because there's not a quorum in person here?
Well, wait,
I wasn't
No,
here.
for
You weren't
this,
here.
You
for
weren't.
just
He's
this
on the
one
phone.
set of minutes.
You guys weren't at either one,
Right.
number 16, right? So we can't do that.
Mr. Chair, have to. We had the same problem with the selectors meeting. The board has changed. We have meeting minutes we have to approve with the existing board, or say we're never going to approve them, because those people are no longer on the board.
well, no, but he's on the phone, so didn't you say we can do a roll call?
We
Because that would
can,
be for.
we are supposed to have a quorum in
in
physically
person,
present,
okay.
And we had one, and we have one now.
but they're not allowed to approve these minutes because they weren't at the meeting.
Yeah.
So we have 3 of us from last meeting. So we have to wait till Marshall or Mark is with us, we can do it next time.
That's fine, I don't follow, that's okay, we can wait.
Table the March minutes and go with February.
Can I clarify something?
That's my plan.
I can't approve it on the phone, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
You can, but we need a quorum present.
There's nothing in the law that says everybody has to be present in a quorum to approve minutes. It doesn't say anything like that in the law. Because what you're going to do is whoever wasn't here is going to abstain. The word abstain, if I'm correct, means you're just agreeing with what everybody else's vote is. It doesn't mean you're recusing yourself. You're just abstaining. So there's nothing in the law that says you have to have a quorum to approve minutes. And when the board changes, they just have to be agreed on that this is.
It's not because the board changed. This was the same board. When this,
I misspoke. I meant if somebody's absent, they can still vote if they read it. I'll stand by that in a court. You don't have to be in a quorum to approve minutes. That's why they did it on the selectmen's, although that was a different case. But
Okay.
one person can do it.
I think Robert's rule says you can have them sign a copy of the minutes at a later date and it still flies.
I'm just saying you don't have to hold up.
That's what we did.
The
Yeah.
Board changed.
They can, yeah.
okay,
So do we want to approve those
yes,
pending?
yes. Pending those 2 changes. So the motion's on the floor for both, I guess.
Well, for both.
February 9th and March
Well,
16th.
I wasn't on the board for February
Okay,
9th,
so you can't do that.
but you can,
So let's separate the motions.
yeah.
Why don't we do February 9th first, since some of us were here. So motion to approve February 9th minutes.
My second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, you do.
Aye.
Zachary, yes.
Yep.
Zachary, yes.
Ingalls, yes?
Barry, yes.
Gage, yes.
Lofgren, yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Motion to approve March 16th minutes with the grandfathered word change to existing and putting a period after permitting process at the end of that paragraph.
I'll second it as amended.
Okay, all in favor?
Zachary, yes.
I'll say yes.
Ingalls, yes?
Barry abstain.
Am I,
Lofgren, yes.
are we all voting on all of these or no?
Well, no, we're not.
This is the second one.
Yeah, you can abstain.
Okay, I understand that. Gage abstain.
Okay, so that would be 4-0
Thank you.
to abstain. Okay,
Can I have a corrected copy?
corrected copy?
Can I just see that? I just want to see
Sure.
it while I'm here. I'll hand it back to you, I just want to look at it.
There's 2 copies there, Ed, if you want to give me one. The one you wrote on.
All right. Minutes. Okay, minutes are approved. So back to the invoice from Government Oversight, who is doing the minutes for us. So I have 4 different charges for 4 meetings: December 8th, January 12th, February 9th, March 16th. $30 each, total $120. Entertain a motion to pay the $120 for
I
Government
motion to approve the $120 invoice for the various minutes that you just listed.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Zagger, yes?
I guess I'm a yes, I wasn't here for most of them.
That's okay. It's
Okay,
for approving an
okay,
invoice. I
okay.
think you're good. Ingalls, yes?
Barry, yes.
Gage, yes.
Wadsworth, yes.
Okay. We can get this over to Joanne. Great. Public comments? Nope. Okay, new business, subdivision regulations. We just signed these before the meeting, but the House Bill 413 and 1359 language has been updated in the subdivision regulations. So those were not necessary to have.
That
a
is
warrant.
not entirely true. Laura asked us not to do 1349.
What she told us to do.
Yes,
Yes.
we did the abutters and the 439, or whatever.
There were some other comments from SRPC, just to be clear, that our legal said we should not do. So we just did what she said to do.
Yes,
And that language is now updated on the website, or just,
not on the website yet because we didn't ratify them, so once they're ratified properly, I'll get them on the website.
now they're back. Perfect. Okay, fee update.
So in this packet, I included also the list of municipal fees to make sure that what I have here matches what we have in the planning board stuff.
So there were two fee schedules, right? You're
Yes.
saying you,
There's one for planning board and one general one, and I wanted to make sure that we make sure they match. So I printed both for
and this is the new proposed fee schedule, right?
I do have a question on
I don't know if this is the current one or the proposed. This is whatever you emailed me.
Yeah, that's the,
That's the new one?
yep. So, for example, yeah, the recording fee, for example, went from $30 to $50. So that is the new one that's in there.
Now, we said we were going to verify that. Did we do that with the registry?
We did. I don't know what the exact number was. I think it was like 47 or something, so we just
Okay,
rounded
50
it.
is good.
Yeah. So these are the new numbers. If anybody is interested in what the old numbers were, I have those here. So these haven't been updated since, I can't remember, 2017, right? So we're almost 10 years. And as we know, everything's gone up. So not everything changed. For example, site plan review administration fees stayed at $200. The public notice has gone up a little bit.
I would question, and I don't know the RSA in this one, are we required to put it in the newspaper?
This,
The application, no, the
Notices.
notices.
it depends what it is.
We just got pinched, supervised into the checklist. We just found out that no matter what we say we have to do, the state says you have to publish it in newspaper. So if there's something here that we say we've always posted on a kiosk and the website, that's not sufficient in some cases. So I'm questioning whether there's enough money under public notices. Bottom line is, notice can get expensive.
It can, and it's
Yeah,
interesting,
some-
because I listened this week to the 2025 conference. A lot of those presentations are on board, and there was a legal one, and there was a question on that, and I left that webinar thinking that we now may not have to do the newspaper, whereas previously we always used to. So after listening to that, I'm going to look through my notes, but talk amongst yourselves now.
So we don't have the rules of procedure back from Laura yet.
No.
But in there, we changed what we thought we could change.
Yes.
And if it was not necessary to put it in the newspaper, we took that out of the rules of procedure. But there were certain things like
Hearings.
hearings, particularly for subdivisions, like that has to be in the paper.
You know, my point is that gets expensive now.
Yes.
Well, we can change the notification fee.
To $250, $250, $80 a shot for the newspaper, even small ones.
No. Where is that on here though?
I don't.
Public notice.
Public notice.
So we have it at 100, so you want to make it 200?
Am I blind?
200
It's
square.
under subdivision.
Yeah. Under each one of these things, number 3 is public notice,
No.
and it's 100
Gotcha.
for basically for the newspaper. Is that enough?
No.
No.
No. If it's any size whatsoever, we'll lose money on that.
Okay, so we don't want to lose money as a town.
That's right, so
Bad policy.
don't try not to do it. I'll make it 200.
200? Okay. Now, do you think we have to do anything about this? Like we are the authority for fees.
That's right. We
So
just have to approve it.
We just vote on it, right?
And once this is approved, I will make sure it matches with the other municipal fees list.
So
Everything on land use is controlled by this document, this board. So whatever on our website.
Can we go
This
up
is
to the
correct.
first one, though, before we move too far along?
Sure.
Okay, I thought we had decided not to charge an administrative fee for the required application design review, because we're not noticing anybody, it's just, they can be on the agenda, but I don't see why they should incur a cost. We've made this a prerequisite to a subdivision and everything else. So I don't see why we would charge them $100 to come and, they could come to the public notice portion or comment.
I think we did talk about that. I might have missed that and not taken it on.
I would take that on.
So there is no notification fee.
There's nothing, no. Just they just want to be put on the agenda.
So should that whole required pre-application design review section be taken out because it has no fees under it?
Well, no, I think it's important to have it on here and just say, I would leave it on here but not have a fee attached.
Let's take 1 and 2 out and just
Yeah,
over to the right say no fee required.
yeah.
Okay.
We could put a time limit on the review, though. I would say half an hour. When you go over half an hour, we'll charge you. I've seen design reviews go on for hours.
All right, so would that change? Any other comments? And Rich, you suggest 200 for public notice
Yes, and
if the newspaper's involved?
yes. If it's not, it's a wash. The website's free, the kiosk is free.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and the,
When it says $100 plus number 3, and then you go to, I'm on site plan review,
yep,
and then you go to number 3, and it says see below.
so
That's
then,
the asterisk.
yeah, go down to notification fees. This is poorly designed document, but I didn't change what was there.
It is
I would
pretty
be
terrible.
happy if you did.
Well, it's part of the ROP, we can work on the formatting.
Yeah, this is the appendix, right? We need to work on that. We can do that another time, I think.
Yeah. Sometime this year it'll get done.
Do you follow now, Rich?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And if nothing else, it should be at the bottom. Steve, any questions?
No. I just remembered that, we had talked about if people were thinking about doing something, come in and, bring it up, casually
Yep.
before they have to say anything. I want to make certain that they could still do that.
Yeah, and that is not required, so
Right.
now we're not charging a fee for that.
Right.
So.
It'd be nice to have them on the agenda though, so that,
Yeah.
I think it says that in rules of procedure. right?
Yeah.
We can come in and email or whatever,
Mhm.
get on the agenda. So these permits, what's general administration fee? What's this?
I don't know, I pulled stuff from home.
And it should be replaced, all replaced with,
Yes, I will make sure they match.
For the match this page. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready to vote on this?
I believe so.
Any other questions?
I'll make a move to vote on this with the changes.
Okay.
My second?
I need a second. Any
Yeah.
further discussion?
just, we got to get control of the document, we need a new date on the bottom.
Yes.
You have that, right?
Good idea.
Okay. All in favor? Zacher?
Yes.
Cassette?
Yes.
Ingalls, yes. Barry?
Yes.
Gage?
Yeah.
Lofgren?
Yes.
Unanimous, 6-0. Okay. Okay, fee update, new business, you have that short-term, there it is right here. We talked about short-term rentals last meeting, just briefly, just wanted to kind of keep it on the agenda. Nothing really to vote on or anything like that, but there's a document which we didn't print copies for everybody because it's like 30 pages, but this will come on your emails, if you can have a look at it, and we can, this is by OPD, and it's a lawyer that kind of went through, like, you may hear this argument, it's wrong. That limitation only applies to whatever. So there's a lot of good stuff in here. I haven't really looked at it that carefully, but I just found it this afternoon. So have a chance to look at that, and we'll keep this on the agenda. We may or may not have a warrant article in the future, I don't know. And we talked about last meeting, putting somewhere that a tax is due if you rent your house, if you have a rental.
State tax.
Yeah, 8.5% lodging tax.
I think it's 9 now.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. In any case, we should post that somewhere, like, I don't know
Yeah.
where, on the website.
Yeah.
And do the selectmen want to consider requiring some kind of permit, just so that we know when somebody's renting, and fire and police have a record of who's there or what have you, or who, at least who the contact is, the owner. That's more your call, the planning board would implement it. I think the selectmen would make that call.
What would it look like? If you're in for a weekend, you need a permit.
We'd have to come up with rules.
I mean,
I think you may, if it's non-family or something like that.
and every time you rent it, get a new permit, or your permit's good for a year. Things like that.
Yeah, we'd have to figure that out. But I think we should at least post that a tax is due. Say,
Where would you put that?
You're also supposed to have a rooms and meal tax ID number.
That's what we're talking about.
Where would we post that? I mean, the renter's supposed to know that, right?
Well, they should.
That's their obligation to.
Actually, the owner should know that.
The ownership.
Yes, the owner, the renter,
Because
the
that will
owner.
be put into their lease, or rental agreement, or whatever you're
Where
going to
will we put that? I'm just.
I guess the question is, I know a lot of towns, when we have, you know, a drought or whatever, they have summer restrictions, like no fireworks or things like this, which is probably a good idea because, you know, and there could just be a summer notification on the website, just saying that, you know, keep in mind the state requires, you can put it off on the state, it's not a town regulation, it's a state regulation. You know, please be advised that if you're leasing, you know, doing short-term rentals in your property, there's a fee. If it's under 180 days, you have to pay rooms and meals. I think that's due monthly, isn't it, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every month you have to send money to that state. So,
Ed?
Ossipee has an extensive ordinance for short-term rentals. I would take a look at it because they've covered everything you just said.
Yep, yeah, I looked at Maconius today, which
Thank you.
they've got separate zoning areas where you
Yeah.
can do something in A, not in B, not in C, but, you know, because they've got a lot of, you know, a lot coming and going during bike week for,
So we don't have a short-term rental ordinance,
we have nothing.
correct?
So I would suggest, Leah, could you take a look at the RSA for this? We could put a news blast out for sure. To let people become aware of the fact that if they have a short-term rental, they owe the state some money.
typically your short-term rentals are on lake properties. I mean, they could be elsewhere, but usually that's where people, if they're vacationing, they want to be on the lake.
We were thinking though that with ADUs being a little bit more liberal, that some people might,
Just come up and go skiing or snowmobiling or
Well,
whatever.
people are always going to look to make money, you know?
if they can.
They're always going to want to rent.
Yeah, I think sometimes people too, they just have visitors with their houses big enough on the lake, they might find a place nearby that's not
Yeah.
on the lake, so right.
That's true.
And we can, as we develop these rules, we could, you know, exempt 3-day rentals or something if we wanted to. Like, any rentals more than a week requires a permit from the select, for example. I'm just throwing that out there. So then somebody could come and stay for the weekend and you wouldn't have to deal with it.
I mean, historically, depends on if you're getting a family and you've got a rental deposit, they tend to treat it a little bit better. They also frequently charge a cleaning fee and everything else. The problem comes in when they're not that discriminating and they do these online rentals and they don't know who's staying there. You know, they think it's a couple and it ends up being a frat party, and that's the issue.
Yep. But that's when it's good to know the owner.
It's
and
very good
contact
to know,
info.
yeah. And trust me, the neighbors probably know the owner, and he probably gets 100 phone calls.
But see, if that scenario plays out, what's the town's involvement if someone rents their house and they have a party?
Well, then you're talking about police, so they'd end up with Wakefield police coming over,
So
you know.
So what's the value added in the town involved in that? I mean, you can go through that scenario without the town having a permit. I'm trying to figure, what do we get from a permit?
You get happy neighbors, and you get everybody in town liking you. If not, everybody wonders, why don't you have an ordinance for that, you know?
Well, you get the knowledge that you know somebody may be
Exactly.
renting their house
Paper trail.
Yeah,
and who the owner is.
yeah.
Okay, my jury's still out. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we
Yeah.
haven't
Go
decided
ahead.
anything today.
Yeah.
Just take a look through this
Yes.
when you get it on your email.
I mean, if it hasn't been a problem yet, that's one thing, but years ago, people weren't doing these, you know, vacationrentals.com and you
And
know,
Airbnb has a policy.
Airbnb has a policy, but,
And A and B will go ahead and they'll do all the state stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, they collect the 8.5, 9%, whatever it is, and they send it in.
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, it's all in that all-encompassing fee that you pay. Okay. Well, we haven't had that many rentals in town, but I think with the ADUs, it may change a little bit.
That could change.
I think I agree with that.
All right, so just keep that on the agenda. Mark, anything from Concord that you came across?
Just real quick, there was 3, let's see, and I think a couple of these we talked about before, so it's an update. And I'm sorry, I don't have the text of the bill, but there was HB 1008, which would have modified innovative land use controls, requirements, and appeals, and that has been, it became inexpedient to legislate, so that means it's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Then there's 1246, which is relative to planning board members serving on other local boards. I'm sorry, I don't know which, specifically what it would limit.
I did read that one, Mark. That one
Oh, did
is
you?
specific to if a member of the planning board is also on the zoning board, they can't preside over the same case on both boards.
Okay. Yeah, that one has been adopted by both the House and the Senate, but I don't see that it's been signed. Maybe we already operate that way. I don't know. We don't have any members on both, I don't think, right?
That's correct.
That's right.
Yeah. But for future reference. And then the last one is HB 1814, which would establish a 10-year strategic housing and infrastructure plan. That one has been introduced. So I think we want to follow that. Again, I don't know what impact it might have on a town like ours, but if that moves forward, we could look into that a little bit more to see if it will have an impact.
Okay.
I guess it won't because you're projecting in your master plan only going from 800 to 835 by 2040, as I read.
And then it goes back down.
Yeah, so I guess we're all gonna die, and we're too old to have children.
We're using the SRPC numbers, which I don't believe either. But, anyway, okay, thanks, Mark. Old business, gravel pit update. So we got an application for permit for Moose Mountain. We don't have one yet from the Smith Pit. And I believe they gave it to us on April 1st.
Yes.
Moose Mountain, it was
Yes.
Wednesday. So we have until May 1st to schedule a public hearing, which is required by our excavation regulations. I was hoping to get both together, but I think we should just go ahead and schedule it as far out as we can to keep that one in the right time frame. So I would say like the 29th, I think, is a,
Well, you said it had to be scheduled by that date, so can't we have it at our next planning board meeting? I'm listening to your words, you said scheduled.
Oh, if we schedule it, yeah.
I think the hearing has to be.
That's different.
65?
It's definitely 30 days. But let me see what it says.
So is this gonna be like a site plan review, so are they gonna have to pay for the public notice?
There's an abutter notice, but
And a butter notice, but there must be a public notice.
just one second, let me see if I can find this.
We're thinking of the time constraints on a butter notice. Public notices.
time. All right, here we go. Prior to the planning board approving an application for an excavation permit, a public hearing shall be held within 30 days on such application. A notice shall be sent to all abutters, blah, blah, blah. And 14 days notice of the time and place shall be published in a paper.
Yeah, there you go.
On the paper, here you go.
Yep,
But there are rules.
these are our rules, yes. Now, these are excavation regulations that the planning board controls, so we can change these if we want.
Next time, next time, right? Paper gets us. So that said, we have to have the hearing within 30 days, April 1st.
Yes.
We have to give 14 days notice, so it's towards the end of the month already.
We have to do the abutter letters too, so
Yeah,
there's
so
got to be a fee involved in this.
I think it's a $50 fee for
I
the
don't
permit.
think we got a fee. I think we got the $100 to the state. That's all we got.
Well, these regulations say that there's a $50 fee.
Okay. But then they have to pay for the abutter notices. So this should be on our fee schedule is what I'm getting at.
Probably. Let me find the $50 thing.
But if it has to be noticed within 2 weeks, and we can't go past the 30th,
It's got to be done.
I would appreciate it being towards the 29th or 30th, so I have the extra day or two to get the butter notices in the mail.
I'd say either 29th or 30th, either one.
That's the $100 to the state.
Yeah. And we have to assign a permit number.
Yep.
Should we do number one?
But take a look at the extras, there's something behind it. That was their application.
Back here,
Isn't it there, what they filled in?
temporary excavation permit. Okay.
Why are they noting temporary?
Why are we doing temporary?
Why is it noting temporary?
Because since we don't have any paperwork, and this has to be re-upped every April 1st,
Right.
we're kind of giving them a break because we don't know who lost the paperwork. Let's say we lost the paperwork, we're giving them a break.
But I guess my question is, isn't this for the year?
It is.
Okay.
They're going to go through next April.
Okay, but to say temporary doesn't seem like it makes sense.
Well, the reason we want to do it temporary is because there are other requirements that
It
we're
wouldn't just say
waiving.
annual?
It would have to be done annually.
Yeah, okay, but temporary sounds to me like you get a week. I don't know. I would give a week, but I mean, seriously.
We need to
Sounds
know
like
what
it's
the
a-
letter of the law, just keep
Yeah.
everything happy and above board.
So there's a, let's see, here it is. There's an excavation plan
Yeah.
that is required.
Yes.
We're waiving that requirement
Okay,
because they can't get that possibly done by April 1st. They need surveyors, et cetera. There's a reclamation plan. They may have one already, I don't know. But we're also waiving that for now.
but for us to waive it, he's got to give us a request to waive in writing.
No,
No?
Well, he should.
no.
Well, shouldn't, and what's
Yeah.
written down, that's the trouble we got with Moose Mountain.
Yeah. The planning board may waive one or more of the items listed under this section.
Right,
So we don't need a request from anybody.
but typically they ask on any of these reviews, when they come in, they want it in writing and we agree to it. But it has to be usually a written request.
And that generally happens with our subdivision work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we require that in
Yes.
subdivisions. I don't think we require it on excavation.
I
don't think so.
would.
Well, that's a different question.
No, I know.
But I think as we go forward,
Yeah,
and this is just me talking, I kind of thought about it, but we haven't talked about it here. This excavation plan and the reclamation plan, I think we should ask for those for next April 1st.
I agree.
And this year, we're like, sorry, we messed up, the town lost the documents,
Right,
so we're not gonna hold you to
but since they're
that.
required,
this year.
I think we should have just an informal note. I'm asking for a waiver of these two requirements. He should submit that and sign it, just to keep us legal, I think. I mean, we're required on everything else that comes before the planning board. It wouldn't be a bad idea to ask for it. I mean, we're gonna approve it, we've agreed that we would approve it, but I think,
What if we just make a note somewhere that we're deciding to waive these things, rather than asking them to submit a letter asking to waive the things we're already gonna waive? That just adds an extra step.
That's how we got in
It's-
trouble with the work at Blues Mountain.
Yeah.
The perception was we got nickel diming them because we gave them a list of requirements up front. So I think you make a good point. For next year, we should say we need this.
Yep, so I think, your permit's been granted, okay, so your permit's been granted after the hearing. We send them a letter and say, we are waiving these two things for this year, get your ducks in order by next April 1st to continue the permit for the following year.
Yes.
yeah, but I just don't think it's a bad idea to him to do a written request, because then they're gonna come back and bite us, that why did you do this? Do you know what I'm saying? It was he requested it, we approved it, period. I mean, to me, it just makes sense, only because the next person comes along and,
No, I
well, you
disagree.
give it to him.
As you said, with Moose Mountain, we nickel and dime. What about?
We're not charging them
what
for
about-
this.
No, not, but if we go ahead and state permits approved and 2027, we expect to have this and this completed. Thank you very much. That way, we are above board and we're acting positive. We are not, jerking the chain again.
Well, I don't have the history of it, but
But it's coming from us rather than them having to ask
yeah,
us.
but,
Yep.
I mean,
Right.
you can certainly throw me under the bus and tell me, Donna wants you to something. No.
I think it's fine if we,
All right.
assuming we approve the permit, we send them a letter saying, this is what we're waiving, we expect you to, do it next year
Well, they're gonna come here, right,
for a public hearing.
meeting.
Yeah, and so we can make it clear there, and that's in the minutes. And there is a $50 fee for the permit itself, according to our regs.
We didn't get that.
We haven't given them the permit yet. When we approve it, assuming we approve it,
They gave us the butter list, so we can send the butter notification out.
yeah,
But we didn't get any money to cover those letters. And I would assume the registered letters.
So did he give us the mailing stickers?
Didn't give us, he gave us names and addresses.
They don't do the mailing stickers, we do the mailing stickers.
They don't.
I don't know what the rules say.
The rules don't say anything about the mailing stickers, they just say we need the list of abutters, up to date, certified by the assessor. And then me and Karen print the stickers to put on all the envelopes and do all the things.
In the past, the applicant gave us the stickers.
Exactly, that's how it's typically done.
That's.
Okay, well, that's not how it's been done since I've worked here.
Well,
What-
I'm trying to give you less work, I don't know what to tell you.
We can see what our rules and procedures say. Whether they give us a name.
That's what it says just give the list certified within however many days of the assessor.
yeah, it doesn't mention stickers, right?
No.
Okay, so be it.
We can change it.
Yeah, most
For next time.
professional surveyors or applicants provide the list,
Obvious.
provide the stickers. That's where we see them coming in. We don't require, but they're provided.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should add some fees to this next time because we're going to be sending registered letters in.
Yeah.
There's no fee for that. So
Well, maybe that's what the $50 is to cover.
you won't cover it, right? There's
Probably not.
eight or nine on the list.
That's in
What are
the
they-
gravel pit regulations? Okay, I'm just making a note so we can,
But I was saying the same thing, we need to add the gravel pit here, and we need to do a fee for the letters,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Rev 1.
Yeah.
It's only a couple of minutes old.
okay, we need to officially schedule this thing, please.
So Good news for me, I'm not here either the 29th or 30th. So somebody else has to run the meeting.
Well, who's your vice
Tell
chair?
Marshall he has to be here.
Marshall. So I don't know if Marshall's back by the 29th, do you know?
He will be.
Yes. Well, Jane's back by the 21st.
Yeah. Okay, so Marshall's got to run the meeting. You just stepped out, but I'm not going to be here 29th or 30th.
Okay, well, you want more time, so let's do the 30th, that's a Thursday,
6 PM.
okay?
You want the more time, or is it better to have them one day, you know, in case something happens on the 29th?
I would like the 30th.
Okay.
So I have the extra day or two to get the notices out.
All right, sounds good?
So what happens here? Who's taking that action item to get those letters out?
I am.
Okay. And you'll get the list certified by the assessor. The list is, the abutters?
It's not certified yet?
I don't believe so.
He was supposed to do that before he handed in the
Yeah, they're
application.
supposed to do that.
I don't think it's been signed off.
Okay.
I mean, they're not changing, it's the same thing we get for Moose Mountain, so it's,
I know, but yes, okay.
But we still have to treat April 1st as the date, even though that's not certified.
Which is why we'll have this thing on a Thursday and,
And it says a newspaper notice also.
yep, I got it marked.
interesting public hearing. I don't know what we're trying to accomplish. We're going to ask for feedback from the town, right? You're thinking about, I guess this plays through. They've given us a temporary, they applied for a temporary permit to continue excavating on a pit that's 30, 40, 50 years old. Any objections? There might be.
There may be nobody there.
There may be nobody there.
Who knows?
But usually you schedule these for Christmas week, so nobody shows up.
We don't have that issue.
Well, that's always matter.
Okay, so
Steve will come.
Thank you, Steve.
we don't need to vote on the date, right? The date is the date. And 14 days in advance.
Yep,
You're gonna have to use a statewide paper to notify it.
It's tough.
Within 14 days. At this point, 14 days is gonna be the 27th.
that's why I wanted those extra
That's
couple
right. I'm
days.
just trying to help you here. The notice in the newspaper needs to go like Thursday of this week.
And that cutoff was last Friday at noon.
For the Granite State News, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I say you're gonna have to use the Manchester Union Leader or somebody,
For Foster's maybe.
or Foster's.
Yeah, Foster's is probably easier.
There's a, I think there were some rules in here about whether you count the first day or not. Day of the hearing doesn't count or something.
Oh, God, I hate those ones.
I know.
They're so confusing.
I think you're going to have to do it Wednesday.
So tomorrow, no,
Today's
today is
Wednesday.
it? Thank you.
You mean the letters?
The
The
public
letters
notice.
and the notice,
Okay.
gotta go out by Wednesday.
Wasn't 14 days?
And at least 14 days' notice of the time and place of such hearing shall be published in a paper, blah, 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 posted in 2 public places. The 14 days shall not include the day of publication or the dates of the meeting.
Publication would be all right because it's a daily newspaper.
Yeah.
So it's got to be done probably Wednesday. And then we get to do it all over again with the other pit.
Well, he doesn't have his paperwork in yet, the other one?
As far as I know, that's correct.
Yeah, I checked with Chris this morning, he hasn't.
I mean, Saturday he didn't have it.
Yeah.
Didn't give me the
Chris
date.
Well,
will
he
say
may
he'll
run
let
out
me
of
know as
time.
soon as it comes in, so.
Well, he just can't excavate until he gets permitted, that's all.
Yeah.
And if he's not in any hurry, that's fine.
Okay. No pressure, man.
Welcome back.
Oh, I feel so sick.
All right, I think that's it on the ground pit. We can talk further about how we're gonna try to implement what we want for next year. and get some of this other stuff cleaned up. Anything legal that we need to know about? Nothing, right?
No.
Good answer. Rules of procedure, still waiting on Laura to get back.
Yep, same with the master plan.
And master plan, we sent the master plan around. I haven't looked at it for a while, but when I looked at it last time, I made whatever corrections I thought it needed and sent it back to Marshall, and then he resent it to everybody. So I'm good with it, assuming we have the most recent copy of it floating around. And again, the master plan can be changed relatively easily. We do need to have a public hearing.
Donna, that's the copy that I gave you to the side.
Yeah. I got this online, right? You sent this to me?
She sent an email.
Probably.
Yeah, I looked at it.
It's nice to have one to write on though.
No, I agree.
So does anybody think we're close enough to schedule that public hearing?
Do we want to have that public hearing before Laura gets back with notes though? Because she hasn't gotten back to us on that either.
Probably not.
Okay.
You gonna
Would you
talk
like
to
me to-
her?
You know, I'm not,
For any
no, I would, what I found that works effectively with the law firm is give her a simple mail attachment, a mail note with that attachment that she can delegate.
I've sent it 2 or 3 times. The trouble is, we've sent it during town meeting season. So it keeps getting lost in the shuffle. I did ask her the last time I sent it, which I think was in December or early January, do you want me to send you this again or prod you in March when all this stuff is done? No, it'll be fine. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
And here we are. So do you want me to prod her again or leave it for now?
Prod.
I would, yeah.
Okay.
Very simple email with that as an attachment so she can delegate, that's all.
Yes, just
It's working for the selectmen.
And tell her we'd like to schedule a public
Who's the
hearing.
attorney?
Mitchell Group in Laconia.
We would need do we need a hearing for the ROP to adopt that?
No, rules of procedure are ours.
Okay.
I think they say we have to advertise it twice if we're making a change. You can't make the change new, but implement it that evening. You can propose the change to be made next meeting, so people know we're going to change it.
And we're still waiting for her comments on that as well.
Yes.
Separate email.
Separate the ROP.
Two separate emails,
Two
yeah.
separate.
I was just so surprised as to how big it was at this point. And, you know, how repetitive it was.
Which one, the master plan?
Yeah. You know, you get 63 pages of stuff, of which you repeated it 2 or 3 times, expounded each time you've brought it up again. And they put me to sleep once.
But did we drive the point home?
Huh?
Did we drive the point home?
If you take, you know, what is it, 2.3 and just use that, through the rest of it out, and you can keep the history, you know, from page 63 on. But
We did take one section out of each thing, by the way.
thank you.
It used to go 1 through 5, we took out the 5th one. Yeah, I always wanted to put the history in the appendix and just have the other
Oh, yeah.
heritage look like everyone else, but it's not how it was written, and I'm not gonna rewrite
Yeah,
it.
no, just leave that, but it's,
Yep.
you know, you read a little bit and then, you know, 10 pages later, you'd see it again, but they added 7 more points to it. And then, you know, 10 pages later, they did it again. And it's, you know, why not just take the last one and bring it up at the beginning? This is everything right here. Make it simple, simpler.
Well, since legal hasn't gotten back to us on it yet, do you want to do that?
Personally, yes, but I want to take a look at it.
I
And
think that's a good idea. I hate redundancy.
Get it done. The goal line is too close.
Yeah, I think,
Get it
because we
done.
can change it
We've
again.
been doing this for 10 years.
Okay,
Make it
so you
please.
two read it and start editing,
So
and
there's-
we'll work on
just so you know,
getting it
there's-
passed.
There's like 8 or 10 sections, and we assigned each section to individuals, and it all came back, and then somebody had to sit down and kind of put it in the same
yeah.
words,
Yeah.
sort of, but the heritage one was a lot longer than everybody else's, and nobody was willing to tackle that, so. That's where we are.
Yeah, I've been through master plans in different towns, and it's always an adventure. Pretty
Good.
much they all sound the same at the end, so. And frankly, nobody reads them.
As long as you
I
write it down.
did, you did, but I mean,
That's why we still have boxes of the old one upstairs.
yeah, 9/10 of the people don't know how to read.
Okay, enough of that. So member comments, last meeting we sort of went around and I guess assigned is not a great term, but kind of put somebody as the point person, I guess, on various things that are listed here. So Marshall's been on the master plan. Rules of procedure has been Leah and me. Gravel pits, kind of in flux. If anybody wants to take that on, Steve, that would be happy to.
Sure. That would show us.
Did you get the paperwork I left for you on gravel pits?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
And then, Don, I don't know if you want to be a point person on the short-term rentals. It's nothing we have to do right away, but I'll know more about it than anybody here.
No, I doubt it. I never do rentals, but that's okay, I'll try to tackle it.
And, this is all for one for all. And we're not really
Yeah.
asking you to do anything right now, but just kind of keep us apprised if, maybe summarize that big
I mean,
document.
fortunately, I don't think it's a big issue in
I
Brookfield.
don't think so. And just maybe have some thoughts about if we want to have a warrant language or not,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And we have a water resource task force. We haven't done that. Selectmen have an opinion there.
What's the one, well, there's 3 watersheds, right?
Environmental protection, growing town, whatever.
The state's got some pretty good regs on it, they keep changing them. What are we gonna do, what's the value add?
And is that something that Frank is already kind
Yes,
of educated about?
Yes,
and working on.
I mean, if we need someone to coordinate with him, I could do that if you want. I'm not sure how our 2 groups, boards, did they take the lead and he approve it, or I'm not sure who's got responsibility, what board.
Yeah, we should probably just check out if there's an RSA that kind of
Okay,
governs it.
okay, I could do that.
Okay, so you're kind of our government guy then, Mark, as we know.
Yeah, for better or worse.
Definitely talk to Frank, though.
Yeah, okay.
Who's fine.
Frank Frazier is the chair of the planning, or the Conservation Commission.
All right, yeah, that'd be good to coordinate there. Member education, there's a half-day, full-day conference on the 9th,
Yes.
which is free, and it's on Zoom, so, I don't know, sit in your backyard, or,
You can go watch it at any time. I went through 2025. It was very informative.
you may have to register to get on the list so you can watch the recording, I'm not sure.
No, you don't.
You don't?
No.
Okay,
I watched 2025.
okay.
You just go on the link and,
I register for all of them anyway, and then email you guys the links after,
Yeah.
so.
I've been to them over the years and they don't change a whole lot.
Yeah. So, anyway, you may want to listen to it.
Yeah, I will listen to it, definitely.
Mark, you have that link for that?
Leah, is that something you already sent?
Yes.
Yeah, I can send it again, though.
Would you mind just saying
Yeah,
that?
that would be, yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other member comments?
I do. I was just wondering, what exactly are we doing this Saturday, and what do we need to set up? Because I'll be pulling double duty.
I don't know, and I was planning on being there.
So you're just gonna stand there and hope for the best?
Just community
Do
day.
you want some maps out of that
Well,
or
later.
something?
You're not getting an email. You just told me you're not getting an email.
Some handouts? Some coloring page, I don't know.
That should be good, I guess. Zoning districts, like, do we have a new, I mean, we have some new maps, but,
That would be good, the color-coded map with the red and yellow.
yeah, do you know where those are?
I think so. I
It's
know
in
where the
master-
old ones are,
It's in the
right?
master plan, it shows the 2 zones.
Do we have the big one though?
I don't know if we have a big one, Marshall might have a big one,
He's not back.
I don't know. Yeah.
I know where the old ones are.
Okay, well, we can say we have new ones coming. This
Yeah.
is kind of where it was as of 20 years ago, last time we did it.
Oh, yeah. I'll be here at like 8:30, so
Okay, is it 8:30 to 11:30, or is it
it's 9 to noon.
3 hours? Wow, okay.
Right, exactly right. We can talk. Other member comments? The selectmen keep getting feedback on trailers. Uh,
Like boat trailers or campers?
No, like campers,
Thank
like
you.
campers. We get feedback left and right, and I say, it's allowed, it's allowed, it's allowed. They put them in, I don't want to be too specific, but they're in neighborhoods, and they're used in neighborhoods continuously, not for 180 days, which our zoning says, but maybe every weekend they're used, and there's parties and whatever. Or they're parked in the front yard forever and never moved. And again, it's a neighborhood issue, because if you have 50 acres and no one sees it, or no one cares because no one's around you. But as we get neighborhoods, these become issues to the neighborhoods. Why do you folks allow that? And I keep having them say, come to the planning board, tell the planning board. So I don't, it's just feedback.
What's the ADU?
An ADU cannot be a trailer.
Cannot be movable, right?
That's right. People move them in now because they're easy to bring in. You buy a piece of land and
Yeah.
you got housing for a weekend or a getaway, which we allow.
So what do you suggest, add it to the warrant article next year?
And put some wording on it. What are we gonna do? I mean, what does it look like?
This is not uncommon. Every planning board I've ever been on, or two, has the same issue. It's a nightmare. And most of them will restrict the amount of time you can have the trailer on a property.
That's an option. That is an option.
I mean, that's just how.
And then the only thing we restrict is you cannot make it your permanent residence
Yeah.
or use it more than 180 days a year, which is half the year.
Most are more restrictive, that I'll say.
But that seems to be a theme.
And it's the same issue with every town, believe me.
And, you know, if you have your 3 12-year-olds sleeping out in the trailer, like, nobody probably cares, but if you have
Yeah.
5 22-year-olds hanging out.
Time, yeah.
So that's where we're getting feedback.
Okay, well, let's think about some restrictions there, I guess, with next year's warrants.
Yeah.
Right, I'm making a list of possible warrants already. I've got 4, I think, so. Okay,
Year is young.
yeah. Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, the house bills are up to 1,800, and they only had 1,500 last year. It's only May.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
I don't know if you have a public comment period.
You have it right now.
Okay.
It seems like we're still going in this direction of over-regulating. If there's people, and this is a reference to the trailers or the campers, if somebody is doing something on their property that's disturbing the peace, then go after that one person. Why do we all have to suffer with volumes of regulations because of 2 people? It's just like we have to change all our speed zones because 2 people from Wolfboro come zooming down our roads. Go after the people that are disturbing the peace, not everyone. I don't think we need any more regulations. That's my public comment.
Thank you. Point taken.
I agree.
And it might be that, you know, if they're disturbed, call the police. Is there an ordinance as to how late you can raise hell in town?
No ordinance.
No, well, only in the rec area.
Yeah, which is midnight, I think, right?
Yeah.
No noise ordinance or anything though.
Nope.
That's interesting, that might be a thought, is just,
We talked about
We went down that
that.
road.
And you want to talk decibels?
Yeah.
no,
It's
do
just-
I want to talk to someone?
It's just too confusing. If you have a problem, you call the
Too
police.
arbitrary.
Yeah, that would be my response.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my neighbor doesn't make a lot of noise.
Loud to me isn't the same as loud to him, because I can hear things.
Yeah, I do have one more comment. It seems like it's still important to figure out, we have this big question about grandfathering. We should keep that on the agenda, on people's mind, to put this finally to rest. Is it grandfathered, is it not? Is this required, is this not? But this has been going on forever too. So, as a planning board, since the gravel pits are your responsibility under the law, we shouldn't have these questions floating around if it's grandfathered or not. So we should really keep that on the agenda and on the radar to really solve that. Thank you.
Noted, thank you.
We're trying, thank you, Ed.
Okay, I know, you gave it to me.
Well,
Look,
I guess the question is grandfathering for perpetuity, or is it for an owner? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
With the land. Goes with
Well,
the land.
if you're gonna have, but do you have to have it run with the land? This is
Yes, that's the
question.
law. That's what- All zoning runs with the land,
Okay.
we're owned to. That's why it's so important when you grant a variance, it goes with that land, no matter who owns it.
There might be something in the property records in the assessor's office relative to when.
Well, that's-
this gravel pit started.
I suspect we have tax
That's what
bills
I'm
from
thinking.
way back when.
Exactly. Or even old assessment cards that said
Yes.
whatever happened started this year.
Yeah.
That's where I'd go to.
Well, we already know that it was already in use, or I'm sorry, it was created pre-1978.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and if it's in continuous operation,
That's right, continuous.
as far as I know,
But
that
that's the-
means the grandfathering
But
continues.
again, if it's not continuous, then it probably loses its grandfather.
It does, that's what it says in the
And
law.
that's kind of what I'm thinking, that,
But it has been continuous.
okay,
I go
so,
back to 2011, so it has been. I'm just saying, get it straightened out so there's no questions.
You think we need a legal opinion?
Are we talking about, I can't hear everything that well, you're talking about the gravel pit in particular?
Yes.
Gravel pits?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, the RSA talks about what the grandfathering is. I don't have the RSA in front of me. And if I recall correctly, one of it was filing that report back in 1981. And then in addition to that, it was not making certain changes to the gravel pit, again, that are in the RSA. So I think one of our problems is we don't have evidence they filed a report. If they don't file a report, then they have to get a permit. They kind of lost their chance, is the way I read the RSA. So, I don't know how that gets resolved here, but if push comes to shove, if they don't give us what we want, say we can't issue a permit, and they say, well, we're grandfathered, I suppose we'd say, well, show us, where's that report that was filed back in 1981? And if they can't, then it seems to me that we say, sorry. but
your
we-
grandfather
the
died.
permit, and here's what we require to get a permit, it's all. We waive some of them, or whatever we decide not to waive going forward, and then they either get a permit or they don't. Unless they can show us they were grandfathered.
And that's why I asked for the legal review for 2 years now. So it takes a little while to go, government does.
Yeah, that may be, I don't mean to say I gave it a legal review either, so if we really want to find out, we could ask our lawyer to tell us if what I said is a good summary, or no, there's more to it than that.
I trust you.
Oh yeah, he's our board lawyer, isn't he?
he is our board lawyer. No, he's not. He is a lawyer. Yeah, I think that it would be great to clean that up. I don't know
I agree, that makes, that's kind of what I was saying as far as the grandfather goes.
We're talking 50 years ago, right?
But what do we want? What do we want out of this? I mean, so we declare they're not grandfathered. What's the objective of doing that?
They would do this permit,
Okay?
and then next year we would get the excavation report and the reclamation.
So that's what we want. See, that's what I thought we wanted. We want those two reports.
I mean, it's half of this document, right? That we should
That's right. Whether
we should have
they're
that.
grandfathered or not, they're the documents we're looking for, what their plans are and the reclamation. So instead of fighting the wording on grandfathering, let's go after getting those documents and make it part of the requirements for next year's permit.
That's where I'm going. And we're giving them a year or a little bit less at this point, but
If they have the notice, in 9 or 10 months, they should be able to get the documents. And then it's a moot point whether they're grandfathered or not, we don't care what we call it.
right. And then they just file that report every year.
Yes. And
in the
update the
state,
reports,
We're
yeah.
done.
Yeah. The wrong window we're gonna fight.
The review that happened this year, I know Marshall did he do both of them or just one of them? And then where's the report that he did?
You mean the inspection?
The inspection, yeah.
Yeah,
We'd have to ask Leah.
I don't think we've seen it. Supposed to go to the settlement, I don't think we've seen it. But the report is pretty basic, there's 5 questions. And a lot of
Yes.
them are NA because they don't have a permit, or they don't have a plan or a reclamation plan.
The inspection.
yeah, well, that was,
Yes.
my first step in terms of chatting with them to see what they had done this past year. So I'll just have to find out from Marshall.
And we had talked about changing that 5-question thing into
Oh, yeah.
12 or 15, I forget how many.
Yes,
So the inspection reports from last year are in each property file, and I believe I put a copy in the planning board file, so I'd have to double check that.
What's in there?
The inspection reports from last year,
Inspection reports, okay.
yes.
You're supposed to get a copy too?
We're supposed to get a copy if we have to enforce it. We're the enforcing people, so if there's some violations, we have to take action. But they're supposed to file that report of excavation, I thought that's what we were looking for, every year. In application to excavate, if they don't do that for 2 years, then they have to start over.
It's considered.
I don't know what Chris does with those. Where those were kept.
Okay.
All right.
Did you say you didn't know where they were kept?
I don't know.
It's starting to come together a little bit.
Yeah,
See, the main reason why I brought this up even 2 years ago is because it seems like as the board changes over, the whole history of these pits are lost. And then if you get a disgruntled public come in and you don't have these answers, it doesn't make the planning board look good. So it's good to have all this, and I would put a narrative together in your document so you understand the whole process of these. So none of this is missing. That's all.
Yep. And of course, this is a separate document. It's not in the rules of procedures. So you have to.
Well,
know
the
that-
inspection report is, but that's it.
You just have to know that this exists. And somebody's got to update it for 2026, along with the questions. Yeah, I think we got a little sidetracked with Moostan last year, so we're kind of getting back on it.
Wait, so do you want to see copies of those?
yeah, I have to do it Friday.
Great, thank you for taking that on. Anything else? All right, next meeting, May 11th, 6 PM, but we will have a public hearing before that on the 30th. And meeting adjourned, 7:25.
Wow.
Bye.
Hey, Mark, thank you.
Enjoy Delaware. These notifications.
Let me know if you can't find one.
I don't know if it
And I
sounds like you
forget.
have it.
Just
Because
I
there was
don't
no
remember
comment.
anymore if them properly.
Had. For some reason I had it.
Yeah, they're going
Been a while
out, we just
since
had
I
a
got
blur
those.
rolls this weekend.
Oh, we have one other thing here. This is not going to be.
Pull it up.